mentees being vulnerable enough to share, to be open enough to receive, mentors not feeling intimidated or not feeling as if they're going to share too much. As a mentor, to me, the most unselfish act in mentorship is understanding that your mentee has the potential to go on to be more successful than you. For some, that's intimidating. So what do? Potentially, maybe, they'll hold back. I'm only going to tell her or him this much. This right here, I'm going to keep in my pocket. That's a reality. But when you get to the place that you're vulnerable enough to be okay with that and say, you know what? That's exactly what I want for them. Because the truth of the matter is, if they're successful, I'm successful. Because I've made a contribution to their success. That's a very, very powerful way of thinking when it comes to mentorship, and a very unselfish way to show up in the relationship. Now, I was talking about, communication. I'm not sure how I got there, but I think I got there because vulnerability is key to this. It's key to the mentor-mentee relationship. Because you gotta be willing. You can't go into the relationship thinking you know everything. And that's on both sides. Because then you'll never glean from it what you can at the highest level, because you come in with the concept and idea that, person really can't tell me stuff I really know, but I'm just doing this because they told me I had to. And I don't know if that's the case or not. So, communication, one of the keys to being an effective mentor or mentee. The second key, I think, is the most important of them all. Compassion. Having compassion for the other person, or for the mentee, having compassion, the mentor having compassion for the mentee. Understanding that there will be some days the mentee walks into the room or into those doors, and they're going to bring some things with them that we say corporately shouldn't be in the workplace. Now, I do a whole teaching on emotional intelligence, and we talk about the fact that people don't drop their problems at the door. Y'all hear that? Door? They don't. And I think the workplace, for the most part, we know, is not totally equipped to handle all of the challenges and obstacles and the things that people carry with them when they walk through those doors. And as a mentor, having a certain level of compassion and understanding that your mentee might be dealing with some stuff. You don't know. You don't know what Sarah is dealing with when she comes to work. And especially if she was potentially a high-performing employee and all of a sudden now things aren't looking right, and you got to put her on a performance improvement plan, or you got to make some adjustments, or you have to do something because something's not right. And having the compassion to try to sit down and have a conversation, in particular if you are a mentor, to sit down and have a conversation and create a space where your mentee feels vulnerable enough that they'll share. That comes through relationship building. Because people don't just automatically start telling you their business if you haven't developed a relationship with them. But as a mentor, you sit in the seat to be able to do that. You develop and cultivate this relationship in a way that your mentee will feel as if they can share with you. It may be a situation where they're just sharing because they just need to talk. Do you know how many people explode just because they don't have anybody to talk to? Compassion. Very, very key and important to the mentor-mentee relationship. When I first started my job as an adult, I worked for a place called the University City Science Center, the nation's first urban research park, housed near University of Pennsylvania, and I worked there for 12 years. But when I first got there, the woman that I worked with was this amazing woman. It was almost like working for my mom almost, but she was so awesome. And she really was a mentor to me. And I remember, so when I got there in September of 1986, I had just been married 2 weeks. By the time I left 12 years later, I was divorced with 2 children. A lot can happen in 12 years. But she had cultivated and developed this relationship with me where she really was like a mentor to me. She was a mentor to me. And I remember she came in the office one day, and this is how synergistic our relationship was. She came into the office one day, and I was actually sitting with my back to her, and she walked over to me, and I don't know how she knew this. She walked over to me, and she put her hand on my shoulder, and she asked me if I was okay. In that moment, I burst into tears. All she did was ask me if I was okay. I wasn't. I was dealing with this very, very difficult divorce, this public custody battle, and it was really, really bad, and I was trying to hold it all together, and I was losing it. And all she did was walk over and say, "Are you okay?" Sometimes you just gotta ask, "Are you okay? Is everything going all right? How are you feeling today?" Just that simple. Because remember, we talked about mentorship shows that you care. We talked about mentorship being an act of compassion. So, compassion.